So it is Saturday the 28th of November. I very much regret coming in here to update you because it is cold and I had hot coffee and a comfy blanket in the study. I haven't updated this vlog all week. The mood of last week has kind of bled in a little bit, let's just say. I have done some bits and pieces. So I have done about 2 hours of outlining. So most of the next book is pretty well outlined. In terms of writing, I did a little bit, I think, on Thursday night and a little bit last night. And I've done about 2.5k so far this morning. Plan is today to try and be productive day of my weekend. I just want to see how much I can write. I just want to do bits and pieces. I don't want to force myself with this because what I was planning is for the draft to be over by the end of this weekend, because even though it's not the end of November, the way I tend to set my goals is I like to do it in like a sort of a 1 hour chunk on a Sunday. So I like to finish my November goals at the last weekend of the month, really. So as far as I'm concerned, Monday will be starting December stuff. So I kind of want it to be done. I don't know if I will be. I've still got like 11 chapters to write of going through and bullet pointing the last few, like seeing how much I think I can get through. And then for the rest of the chapters, just doing bullet points so that I can theoretically say it's just done and I can put it aside and just write that later. Even though book 4 last month and book 5 this month have felt a little bit more like first drafts, that doesn't mean it has to be complete by the end of the month. So I'm toying with that as an idea. I am also probably, very, very likely, going to switch up the plan for next month. The way that I've been feeling these last couple of weeks, I'm pretty convinced is burnout. With the new job, trying to write so much and trying to write so many months in quick succession, I think I am just messing up my head. Which isn't helpful. It's not good. Don't want it. So what I'm going to try and do is next month, I'm still going to do stuff because I won't be able to not do stuff. It is me. But so I think I said this before, I think I said in last week's vlog, I was going to look at rereading an old version of the standalone that I want to do. I want to kind of redo it and bring it up to scratch and bring it into the world of my Space Poets series. And what I realised the other day is that there was both a first book and there's like a prequel book that I wrote at another NaNoWriMo. So what I might do is for the whole month I will be rereading those two, and because they're both NaNoWriMos that I won, I've got at least 100,000 words there. It doesn't make up for any of the words that I'm behind from these last few months, but it gives me over the monthly word count without drafting, and I think I need to not be drafting. And I think I had all the best intentions to just keep writing through these drafts and get all the way to book 9. But I think until I'm a little bit more stable with what I'm doing in my 9 to 5 and until I'm just not convinced that I can keep doing one draft a month and keep pushing through it. The other side of this is if I don't finish this draft, I could finish it next month while I'm rereading through these other books because they're completely separate books, and just finish off the last like 10k or whatever it would be. And theoretically, there's nothing to stop me, if I got through all the rereading and I felt more relaxed and a little bit chiller, to start drafting the next book in the sort of last month of December. I've been getting almost anxious about not completing drafts in a particular time frame, but there's like a part of me that's just thinking, no, this book is supposed to be written in November, therefore it has to be written in November so that my graph and all my wordy stuff looks really, really clean in November, and then I just go straight onto a new project. And it's dumb. It's really dumb. I'm just being dumb with myself. That's what's happening. Plan is today's going to be the productive day of the weekend, and then the only thing I'll do tomorrow is edit whatever I pull together for this vlog, which might not be very much, which might genuinely be this clip and like a fill you in at the end of the day, and then to allow myself to do nothing. So that is the plan. I think I'm going to go and get some more coffee. I was going to put you guys on my desk and record it, but my desk is an absolute mess. If I can find a spot in which you can't see all of the crockery, I might give you a little recording of some of the typey types, but just going to see what I can do today. It'd be really cool if I could get to like another 5k, so like a 7k for the day. I think it would get me through the sort of break into 3 and get me into Act 3, which I'm gonna go get some coffee, gonna hope that works. Might over-caffeinate myself today, but this is going to be the last November day I'm going to work myself like a mad woman in terms of my goal setting. And then tomorrow I'm going to allow myself some time to chill. There's a reason I haven't picked up this camera all week. This is not particularly engaging. This video is going to be rubbish. Just going to warn you in advance. This vlog, it's not going to be the best vlog. This is what happens when I try and use natural light in this room. Like, bright light, nothing. Because otherwise, it's just in my eyes. It is still Saturday the 28th. I am still attempting this. So currently I've written 6,640 words for the day, which, not bad. I've done 7, 20-minute sprints. Oh, this lighting is it's just worse than normal. Yeah, that'll do. Please ignore the guitar cases in the background and the mountain of pillows. I've got about 6.5 chapters left. And I had a bit of a realisation earlier that I've made this book way too long in terms of chapters. There's so many scenes that could be cut or merged together. So that's going to be fun in editing. I'm going to have to close that blind because it's already getting in my eyes. And if I sit here for a couple of hours, it's going to blind me. The plan is to just keep seeing how much I can do. It's only 2:30. I've got a family call planned at 7:30, but otherwise I don't have anything else on today. So I can theoretically keep going. What I was thinking is if I get to the point where I cannot bring myself to actually drafting longer, I'm going to do this because it keeps changing my face. I mean, this works because I'm just tired and I just want to go to sleep. Yeah, the plan is if I can't write anymore, but I don't feel like I'm completely tapped, I've got a couple of hours of outlining I was supposed to do, so I can always switch gears and do some of that in these sprints or put something on the TV and try and outline, although I'm getting to the point where I need to focus a bit more. I can have stuff in the background at the beginning of outlines because I'm essentially just plopping in ideas of scenes, but now I'm at the point where I've got I think it's another 15 scenes to decide on, and these are my very rough outlines before my sort of 0 first drafts, so it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I don't have to be too precise about it, and what I'm finding when I'm writing this book is a lot of scenes where I'm going, actually those 2 scenes are one. There's no reason for those to be separate, or the order I've put them in is just weird. On a couple of them I've already moved them around and said no, actually that goes there. So the outlining is a second option. It's whether I do it in sprints or whether I put something on the TV and just kind of sit with it. I do have a tub of ice cream in the freezer again, because this time I actually, when I went shopping, made a point to buy myself some. I'm procrastinating again. I really don't want to do it. I did say this morning that 7k would be a pretty good day, and I'm pretty close to that. So worst case scenario, if I end up sort of stopping and doing some outlining and then just completely stopping, I don't think I will push myself tomorrow. We all know from last week's vlog though that I will probably push myself to do stuff anyway. So I'm gonna go and put that bloody thing down. But I had to leave the study because my partner started doing a voice call with one of his friends. I'm very envious. I've been watching some NaNoWriMo vlogs this last few weeks of people that can have things on the background when they're writing. They can have YouTube videos on, or they can have a film on and they can write. And I don't understand. But I'm the same way with reading. I can put some background music on. I can maybe have some music that I'm really familiar with words in, but otherwise I need pretty much silence. About 11 o'clock in the evening on 28th of November, I'm still on the same day, and I finished the book. I did it. Somehow did it. We're at 62,000 words and we're done. It's over. This was probably one of the more emotional endings that I've had, but I think I might be linking it to things happening in my personal life. So I had a small cry. I finished the penultimate scene, had a small cry because I think I was playing on real life things happening at the same time, so that was fun. But the last scene, obviously needs some work. This whole thing needs some work, but I think that needs to stay in there one way or another. That particular thing that Captain does. Okay, today I have written 11,191 words in about 3 different spurts. So I did about 5,000 before lunch, and then I got to about 8,800 or something about 4 o'clock. Had a bit of a break, had my family call, and then that finished about 10. Put a stopwatch on my Fitbit for that. I've just written for 55 minutes straight just to get all the way through to the end, and to that last couple of thousand. So needs a lot of work because there is genuinely a lot of scenarios in which I think that scenes could be merged together or I'm essentially doing the same scene twice but with a different level of desperation the second time, which could be really interesting, but I need to reread it and just check that it's interesting because it might be super boring. Yeah, so I think I said on this vlog earlier this morning that next month I'm going to do things a bit differently and I'm going to stop drafting, because while I managed to finish that somehow, don't ask me how, I don't know, I think I'm burning myself out with it because that took a lot. It is also definitely my most successful, if you want to put that in words, NaNoWriMo ever. I finished the earliest I've ever finished, and I've done the most words that I've ever done, because usually I just about hit the 50,000 on the last couple of days and just got myself over 60k. I will probably carry this vlog on to tomorrow, because what I'd like to do is if tomorrow I could finish off the rest of that outline for the next book, then I would have actually hit everything that I was hoping to hit this month. Which feels weird to say because of the amount this month that I feel like I've been beating myself up and the amount of not doing things that I've been doing. That last sprint was 55 minutes and about an average of 47 words per minute. And I think the thing that is being the clearest for me in terms of this potential burnout, because I think over this month I've had a lot of back and forth with myself about whether this is burnout and whether this is just that I'm not doing enough and it's making me feel weird and all of those kind of things. But I think when I look at these words per minute for this book compared to the last two, it is much lower. It's not much lower overall for the book, which is really, really interesting. The last few books have all been about 47 words per minute. But I think with this book, I've had a lot of, like the first week, I had a lot of really high words per minute, lots of word count, getting that first 25k out was incredible. And then this kind of deterioration, and then there's like second wind that I've had in the last week. I said it last week. I've just done more writing this week than I was expecting to. It's strange, it's very strange. But yeah, I think I've had a lot more sessions where I sat down and wrote at like 35 words per minute or 38. And just pushing the 40, which always used to be my kind of lower benchmark. So I think in other books I had more times that I was maybe between 40 and 45, but very rarely was I below that, whereas this book I've got a lot of ones that are below that mark and then a lot of really high ones where I've had like a super awesome time of it. Like the first week things were just going really well, and like this week I've picked up a bit of pace. But I think one of the really good things for me about tracking is that I can see quite clearly now that my drafting brain is struggling. If I can finish the outlining for book 6 this month, I won't have anything to catch up on next month. And then I can go into January and draft book 6 and outline book 7 and carry on that pattern and maybe try and draft 1 or 2 more books and then see how I feel. I'd like to say that from January, February, March, if I've had a bit of a rest, I might be able to draft all 3. Essentially drafted August, September, October and now November, and I'm kind of burning myself out now. So I'm thinking I can probably get away with drafting 3 months in a row. I just can't do 4, which I think is fair. I think that's fair. Far later than I normally stay up. I'm a little bit hyped up. But the book is done. The book is done. Tomorrow, finish off the outlining, and then I can draw a line under this month. And then I will probably go back to doing these monthly, because I think having these weekly may have also sort of contributed to the I need to keep creating. Because I think when I was doing it the last couple of months where I've had this running as a monthly vlog where I can just kind of talk at the camera and then the last week put it all together, and then I can allow myself other vlogs which are less time consuming to film and less time consuming to edit. And also when I was talking about particular topics versus last week when I was talking about all of the things going on in my head, it's a lot easier to edit. It's a lot nicer to edit stuff where you're not having a go at yourself while talking to the camera. The top tip for you. I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go crawl into bed and probably sleep for 12 hours and then try and get the outlining done tomorrow. And this, though I may do what I did last week and end up editing this on Monday in a panic and getting it out, because I really want to spend some time tomorrow doing nothing, because I haven't actually done nothing for a significant period of time. Like, other than times where I was so burnt out I couldn't do anything. One of the evenings this week where I sat in the dark and watched the Taylor Swift documentary on Disney, which was great. That wasn't a me trying to do nothing, that was a I physically cannot do anything else right now, so we're doing this. I don't even want to go into bed and read or try and go to bed early. I want to sit in the dark and listen to Taylor Swift songs, is where I was. So, very interesting NaNoWriMo, I guess. is the takeaway from this month. I've never filmed myself going through a nano, so I actually don't know if this is just normal and I just keep forgetting it and then end up in this like golden haze at the end when I hit the 50,000 words. And does it always feel this weird? Always this bad? I don't know. Please ignore the mound of pillows behind me. Okay, so it is the 29th. So just to kind of round off this week, I say round off this week, let's say to round off this weekend and week 4 of NaNoWriMo. And I'm essentially going to call my NaNoWriMo here. So I finished the book yesterday, which I updated about yesterday. The outline for book 6, I finished today. I took about an hour and a bit to finish it off. It probably needs another like proper read through, I think, maybe. But I'll do that maybe towards the end of December, or for the first like day of January, I'll reread it and get it all into my Dabble app and stuff. I don't fancy doing that now. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I know that the advice, and I think Alexa Dunn said this in her recent video, is to not write the whole series through unless you're planning on self-publishing it. And I understand entirely that concept. But now that I am writing book 5, or I've finished book 5 and I'm outlining book 6, I am really starting to wonder how the structure of this series is looking. And my feeling is that when I get to book 9, I'm going to want to go back and try and add in a bunch of stuff. It doesn't feel like it's moving very quickly. It's very character-based now that I've allowed myself to be character-based. So I don't think it's particularly exciting. And I think for me, I'm still very much for the idea of doing at least one draft all the way through. Then I can look at the overall plot for the series, move around points, because I can't plan the series ahead and then write book 1 and only book 1 until that's ready to be queried, because I know my sort of plantsing ways. It's going to change everything. So what I wouldn't want to do is go to a publisher with my first book and say, this is a 9-book series, and mess myself up. If actually this turns out that it could be a trilogy with just with bigger books, or it might be a 6-book series, or it might even be like 4 or 5. It is unlikely that I will sell a 9-book series. But if it actually turns out it could be a trilogy, I'll be putting myself at quite a detriment. So I want to write it all the way through and then read it all the way through and see what happens. Next month, I will be reading through my standalone to do that instead, which will give me about 100,000 words, a little bit over that. And then I want to make some notes on things. Next week's video, I will give kind of an update on Millward as a whole. And then also I think when I've kind of detached a bit from the NaNoWriMo mindset, I might do a little bit of reflection. I've also pared back a number of my goals for next month. I think I talked about this in week 3. So in this month I am pretty much focusing on doing that rereading, which should only take maybe 5 hours each week to get all the way through, based on the average reading speed. Might be different. I would rather underestimate this month than try and push myself like I did last month. So that's my main focus, along with just trying to get like some more steps in and move more. I'm sat at my desk way too much these days. And these AuthorTube videos, that's kind of like the main bulk of things. I think I need it. I think this December is going to be weird. I don't entirely know how Christmas things are going to look. The UK is kind of just coming out of a second lockdown, and we're going to see how the tiers work and how all that works out. Overall, I had a couple of weird weeks. Some very unusual brain days for me. And definitely think I burnt myself out, but got through my 10th book written for NaNoWriMo, or with NaNoWriMo I think is probably what I should say. It is about 6 o'clock at night now on Sunday, which means that usually by now I'd be like trying to sort of plan for next week, and I've done all of the planning already, which is kind of nice. Planned out the whole month. Because I've planned that this weekend, December's going to be 5 weeks for me, like 5 full weeks, because I'm going to count tomorrow as starting December. So I've only planned the first 4 weeks with actual things, and then the final week will be to catch up on anything, but also to try and keep it as free as possible. And there I might be more specific about sort of trying to plan 2021 goals in that last week, and working out what I actually want to do and how I want to try and develop this writing. And I want to keep getting on with the drafting, and I want to get through the whole series, but at least by the end of next year, preferably by August, to have it all drafted and read through. So I think that's where I will leave it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.